It's Marina Salt Alchemist, and I'm coming to you with some quick tips and guide on how you can improve your well-being and raise your vibration through a simple glass of water. So I'm going to share my screen and just show you a few slides and give you some ideas of how and what I do to improve my well-being. And it shows you, demonstrates scientific proof that this stuff does work. So I'm going to share my screen, so bear with me. And hopefully you can see this all okay. So the gentleman that pioneered this particular experiment, just to show the general public the power that we have with our words, was Dr. Emoto. And what he kind of says is that water is the mirror. It has the ability to show us what we cannot see. It is the blueprint for our reality, which can change with a single positive thought or word. And all it takes is our faith if we're open to it. So this is a book that I was given a couple of years ago, which really kind of goes into a bit of detail around this process that he pioneered. But it's basically called cymatics. And as I say, I've been using water imprinting for a couple of years now, and it really does help me in terms of my well-being. But also, if I wanted to feel more focused or more energized, then I imprint that intention and those words into my water and allow myself to have, feel the effects of that and to feel better. So the true power of water is astounding, as it gives the evidence of how powerful our words are and how we can change our energetic vibration. So through the 90s, Dr. Emoto performed a series of experiments observing the physical effects of our words, prayers, music and environment on the crystalline structure of water. And that process is called cymatics. So this is a picture of Dr. Emoto here, and what he did was he had droplets of water that he would freeze very, very quickly, and then he had about 15 seconds to photograph them. And he would show you an example or two photographs of examples before they'd had prayers or, words kind of directed at them, and also afterwards. You can actually see the physical effects and the physical changes between these structures. So the way that he did that was the kind of having water in jars, and he would either have words stuck to the side or words sat underneath, or he would actually have music played to the jar of water, or even prayers or a single word said to it. And the results, you're going to be able to see the results. I've got a few slides here to show you that. But given that we're made up of approximately 70% water, it kind of has an effect not only on the water that we drink, but also on our well-being and the water that we're carrying within our physical body. So this is just some examples here of different samples of water that have had different pieces of music played to them or some words recited. So what you can see is, you've got Mozart, you've got Imagine by John Lennon, you've got the word love. All of those are forming these beautiful structures, and then you've got peace and thank you. Then if you look at the I will kill you, you can see that water doesn't want to form at all. And then you've also got the Fujiwara, which is, I believe it's a river or a body of water, natural body of water. And you can see where it's had prayer directed at it and where it hasn't. And you can see even in the natural kind of states of bodies of water that we have on the planet, they can be changed, they can be affected. These are just some other examples. So you can just see these beautiful forms, but also you can see where the water doesn't want to come together. So you fool, evil, and you make me sick. So, having, positive words said to us, or, us thinking positive words is going to really help our physical body water, but also the water that we drink. So that's just gives you a demonstration of how much water we hold So as approximately it's about 70%, but you can just see where the distribution of that water is. And it just makes you think, if you're kind of, you know, going through a cycle of negative self-talk, how much you're actually affecting your physical body water by actually having those thoughts, or even saying them out loud. Okay, so this also extends to food, and he wanted to demonstrate that this same experiment, you know, has this same effect. And I think this is probably why people do bless their food, excuse me, before they eat it. Some people do that, and they send a blessing to the food, and it's just adding extra positive energy to what we're eating. So what you can see here is this is the 30-day water rice experiment. So 3 jars of rice were filled with water as well, and these were just said once a day. And for the rice that was at the top that had the word that had thank you, that actually didn't start to ferment or decay in any way, and actually it gave off a really sweet smelling aroma, so it was perfectly fine. Then the middle jar, you can see you're an idiot, and that had really started to rot and decay. And then the rice at the bottom was completely ignored. There was no sounds, no words said to that particular jar. Now this was only, you know, as I say, once a day that these words were given to these jars of water. With some of them, he also placed the words on the side of the jar, but these were actually spoken to. So as we're made up all of energy, we hold a vibrational frequency that we can enhance, or in some cases not. Ways to do this is to create a positive mindset by reciting positive affirmations, showing love and gratitude, and listening to the sound that supports our well-being. So it's well known that sound healing and listening to certain sound frequencies really does help our vibration and our well-being. So with this knowledge, what can you do today to enhance your vibration? And we can do that through words, music, and a pendulum. So what we can do is bless our water with positive words, especially empowering statements such as I am love. We can use a soundtrack, which can just, we can just request then that the water takes on those beneficial properties of that particular music. We can use a pendulum or a pendant and spinning clockwise, install positive words into the water. We can sit our glass on a piece of paper that has the positive words, or we can stick them to the side. And we can also bless our food, our hot drinks, and our plants. So it's not just water that we can kind of, save this process for. We can do it with anything really. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what I do. So I've got a humble glass of water, but not for much longer. So I do usually use a pendulum, but as I say, you can use a necklace. You could use a key with a piece of string or a piece of thread, anything where you can kind of get this movement. Now, if your pendulum or pendant doesn't move on its own, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't need to. All you'll want to do is to purposely spin it. And if we're installing a positive word into a glass of water, then we want to spin clockwise. So, we can just get a nice spin on that, and then placing it over the glass of water. You can just, so depending on how you get up and how you're feeling that day, it might be that you've not had a very good sleep and, you want to feel a bit more energized. So what I'm going to kind of request is that into this water, I want to install the following statement: I am energized. Or you could say I feel energized, but I am has a little bit more power to it because we're using an I am statement. So if you can prefix most of what you want to feel or experience with the I am statement, then that makes it, really, really powerful. So I am energized. So please install that into my water now. And I just wait for the pendulum to spin. And then once it stops spinning, it's done. So that's as simple as that. Now, if you wanted to go one step further, you could get a pen and a post-it note. Or if you didn't want to bother with the pendulum or the pendant, and I'm going to put "I am energized" on a post-it note, and then I will sit my glass of water on that all day, just refill my water, and that is going to give me energy, not only within my physical body water, but in the glass of water as well. So just by having those words directed at the glass of water, we are changing the structure of that particular water, and we're kind of raising it to the best possible state that we can, which is only going to have a positive effect on our well-being and our vibration. Other words that I kind of tend to use is, if I want to feel focused, if I'm feeling a little bit scatty and I'm not sure what to kind of focus on for the day, then I'll put "I am focused." Or if I want to, perhaps if I'm working in my business and I want to kind of do quite a lot of creativity or quite a lot of writing, then I'll kind of do an "I am" statement. I am creative. I can communicate really effectively today. The world is your oyster in terms of what you want to feel. So with where we are at the present moment, then I am calm, I am at peace, I am healed, I am well. All of these types of "I am" statements are going to just really help your state of mind, your state of being, your emotional well-being as well. So anything that we can do to kind of really support our health and our well-being at this time, and any time, to be honest, it doesn't have to be just at this time, is really, really beneficial. And this, just doing something as simple as this with your water, is just really quick and easy. But hopefully you can see from the slides that I showed you today that there's scientific proof that this actually works as well. So there's no reason not to imprint your water. So I hope you found these tips and this information useful. Do let me know, and once you start to imprint your water, do also feedback on how what impact it's having in your life. How much more improved do you feel, or what changes have you noticed? I'd absolutely love to know. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day if you're watching this, and hopefully we'll connect soon. Bye.